Okay, I'm back for the final part of this. I didn't know that this video was going to take, a lot of times, but oh well. So now I have finished gluing these on, and you can see that I kind of had fun laying them out, and then I got them all laid out first, and then I decided how I wanted to glue. And I showed you in the last part how you don't want to glue directly onto this. You want to do it on another, like a piece of scratch paper or whatever, so it doesn't get all gluey. And then I stuck these on here, and actually now this is dry. So my final thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some color. Now what I have here is crayons. I love these crayons. I don't know if you guys have a set of crayons that you love at home, but these are called, it's like they don't even have a, they're called Brilliant Bee, and they're beeswax crayons, and they're so bright, and they're kind of like oil pastels, except for they aren't as messy as oil pastels. So I got these, I don't know, on Amazon or at Five Little Monkeys or something like that. And so I'm going to use that. You can use your oil pastels that I sent with you, okay? Or crayons or whatever you want. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of embellish some of these. So maybe I'll add some shapes onto these, and I don't want to think too much about it. I'm just probably going to go. So for example, if I do this here, then I do it here too, right? And it just kind of makes the outside just as fanciful as the inside is. And I think I'm going to maybe to add a loopy line around this one. Now I'm not going into the square, right? My border, I'm keeping it outside of the border. Now, some of you guys, I saw when you turned in your mandalas to me, some of you kind of went outside of the square, maybe accidentally, but you know what? It's totally okay, because part of what makes cool art is what we do with our mistakes, right? So if you went outside of the square and you're like, what do I do now? Then just, you have a couple of choices. You can keep on going with it, whatever, and just make the whole thing a mandala, or you could stop there with the parts that you went outside of the square and then continue filling the square with your other lines, only letting those couple of parts go out, or whatever. It doesn't even matter. What shall I do with this thing here? Maybe I'll put some spikes on it, because it kind of reminds me of a sun. So I'm going to let my artwork kind of go off the page here, right? I do like to let my artwork go off the page. It's a good thing. And I want to tell you also what we're doing here is a trick that artists use, which is a lot of times real artists, what they do is they work on a piece of artwork, and then they stop, and they come back to it, and they work on it some more, and they stop, come back to it, work on it some more, stop, work on it some more. And then, I think it was Pablo Picasso said, like, real art is just knowing when to stop, right? And so sometimes you look at it and you say, like, am I done? Maybe I'm done. But no, I don't think I'm quite done. I want to go around these. I like the idea of adding a little bit more color here. But what we did in this piece of artwork is quite multimedia, isn't it? We used pen and ink. We used paper here, and we used paper here. That means that we used collage. And then we use oil pastels or crayons. That's called multimedia. I wonder if I could add something here that could be kind of like, this makes me think of when Miss H was always like, how do you make those really good borders for our classroom date? And I think my answer is just like, well, I just start out with something And I just kind of keep adding on to it until it feels good and done, right? And then when you keep adding on to something, it does really have a cool effect. I think I'm going to color this in because I love this yellow. It is such a happy and pretty yellow. To me, it's a happy and pretty yellow. And today, I'm feeling a little sad by the weight of it all, which is just how it's been for me. Maybe it's been that way for you. Some days are so good and you're like, I got this. And some days are hard. And those are the days when we really need art, right? In our lives, and exercise, and sunlight, pets, and hugs, and fort making, and movies, and sleep. And sometimes we need a schedule. What else could I do here? Delphine, what would you do? This reminds me, yesterday we colored Easter eggs. Delphine, you want to go get the Easter eggs just so we can show in this video what we did?
Where are they?
They're in the fridge. They're in the fridge. What could happen here? What if I just did a little bit of this? I'm just building this up, aren't I?
Oh my gosh, we have so many eggs.
Do you want to bring them in here so we can look?
Mama,
What?
can we dye them? The blue stuff, the red stuff actually came off.
That's okay. Okay, I'm sort of feeling done with this, although I feel like this needs something here. Maybe what it needs is,
Here are some. Don't open them until I get there.
let's see if I can even replicate that. Kind of reminds me of a flower or something. What did I even do over here? I did a dashed line. It's hard to do the same thing that you did even, isn't it, sometimes?
Okay, fridge.
Okay. What am I doing? Now, in my house, a lot of times my kids get mad at each other for copying each other. And I remind them that artists copy each other all the time.
Show your students this one.
Okay.
It's the prettiest one. I colored the...
This is one that I made. It
And
kind of reminds me
I
of
did the
my mandala.
background.
Can we show these other ones, these beautiful ones that you guys made?
I made this one.
Let's see. Ooh, that's so pretty. We did.
And here are some other ones.
Here are some other ones. I don't know. Not everybody does Easter eggs, but I think it's a fun art activity in the spring. Or you don't even have to call them Easter eggs. You could just call them spring eggs.
And this one is my sad cracked.
Oh yeah, it got
egg.
cracked. That's true. This one I love because it has a color wheel on it. So awesome. You made a color wheel on the egg, Eden. That's pretty cool. So, okay, Delphine, I'm gonna keep on going here because I want to kind of be done with this video. I know that my students really, well, some of them might want to see the end of this video. Okay, I feel like, you know what? I feel like it's done. That's something that's making me happy. Feel springy, feel good. All right, scholars. Bye-bye.